ESPN College Football presented by Ram Trucks. It's the Big 12 Conference on ESPN from gorgeous Provo, Utah, the foothills of the Wasatch Mountains, and the stunning vista that is Lavelle Edwards Stadium. They've got their cougar tail, they've had their Hocho, and the fans here ready to watch an undefeated playoff contender in BYU. Oklahoma State coming off a bye, looking to right its season in Provo, Utah. The Big 12, as Zubin just said, unpredictable. It's been anarchy, it's been chaos. BYU, Iowa State, Texas Tech. That's the new world order. Preseason favorites like Utah, Oklahoma State, and Kansas near the bottom. And with that, we say good evening. Big 12 After Dark. Anish Shroff, Andre Ware. We'll hear from Paul Carcaterra in a bit. You got to like the irony. BYU picked 13th in the Big 12, 13th in the AP poll, doing it with defense.
Nobody had them to this point in the season. But yes, they are magically doing it on the defensive side of the ball, where they have playmakers just about everywhere, led by Isaiah Glasker, their all-everything linebacker. They can make plays up the middle. John Nelson, Blake Mangelson, defensive tackles that can make plays. Jack Kelly, Harrison Taggart. And then you talk about the secondary that can flat out get after you. They've got playmakers, Anish, all over this defense.
14 takeaways, tops in the Big 12, one of the best marks in the nation. Meanwhile, for Oklahoma State, we saw this team a year ago course correct after a rough start. They've lost 3 in a row. There's still a ton of talent coming back. They're hoping a quarterback change can lead to another course correction.
Yeah, Garrett Rangel, he's going to be under center for them tonight. But their head coach, let's go there for a second. He knows how to get this team right, this program right. He hasn't been 3-3 since his rookie year as a head coach in Stillwater. So if there's a guy that can right the ship, it's going to be Mike Gundy.
And he is turning to the redshirt sophomore Rangel, getting the start in place of Alan Bowman on a Friday night in Utah. BYU, undefeated, number 13 in the country. 40 years ago, they had a pretty good undefeated start and finish. Paul Carcaterra.
Oh yeah, a lot of undefeated talk here in Provo tonight. The 1984 team, which won a national title and never lost, is being honored in the stadium. And in 2024, Kalani Sitake has the Cougars rolling. And keep in mind, this is a team that went 5-7 a year ago and picked to finish 13th in the Big 12. It wasn't about proving the doubters wrong. It was about proving each other right. Kalani Sitake said the difference isn't just leadership with this team, it's the senior leadership. They have a sense of urgency and they speak differently amongst themselves. It's their last shot and they all know it.
Picked to finish last in conference. They're in first. 40 years ago, they won a national championship. Things are eerily lining up for this BYU team.
We talked about their defense in the open. They've been strong on special teams. And their redshirt junior quarterback, Jake Retzloff, leads the offense. He's been playing with more confidence. He's been taking care of the ball. Andre, when he and the offense play well, this team becomes almost impossible to beat.
Yeah, he was affected by drops last year. And early in the season, he had turnover problems coming in right out of fall camp. He's taking care of that. He's taking care of the football, and this BYU offense starting to take care of this program.
And they are healthier in the backfield as well. L.J. Martin and Hinckley Ropati both returned last week. Retzloff to the air on first down, wants it all into coverage, and it's hauled in by Darius Lassiter. A boom on the opening play.
What a throw, what a way to open up the game, play action pass. You think when you're taking on BYU, they're going to run the football. When they show you that right away, you peek into the backfield too long, and Lassiter is over the top with a nice ball by Retzloff to start the game for BYU with a big, big play.
The challenge tonight for Oklahoma State. They are down their 3 best players on defense. Safety Trey Rucker leads the Big 12 in tackles. Nick Martin and Colin Oliver, their top 2 linebackers, top 2 players on defense, also out for a long time. Retzloff moving the pocket and throws it away. Second down and 10 to go as we take a look at tonight's impact players built by the Home Depot.
Yeah, for BYU, it's L.J. Martin. They want to get him the football a bunch tonight. Look for that touch count to be above 20 or so. And Kendall Daniels is a linebacker for Oklahoma State. If they're going to stop the run tonight or stop L.J. Martin, or at least slow down the rushing attack of BYU, he has got to have a big game.
Yeah, the Cowboys' run defense has been gashed the last 3 weeks. Ropati into the game at running back. Retzlaff, who is the team's leading rusher, picks up a first down with his feet, a gain of 14 yards. Lyric Rawls from the safety position making the play.
Yeah, they do a nice job. Ropati with a block out in front for Retzlaff, who they will call as many as about 10 quarterback runs where they're just going to give it to him or snap it to him and say, hey, wait on the blocking, run the football, or quarterback draws, quarterback counters. They come at you a lot of different ways.
The rushing defense numbers for Oklahoma State, viewer discretion advised. 389 allowed last time out against West Virginia. Little slingshot. That is the freshman tight end, the California kid, Reiner Swanson, 6'4" surfer dude out of Laguna Beach.
Watch the adjustment with the arm here just to kind of get it out and get it out quickly to Swanson, who they really like. They think he's got a very bright future. As you mentioned, true freshman, 6'4", 245 coming through the doors out of Laguna Beach.
He had offers from Texas, Oregon, Florida, Ole Miss, Washington,
A&M. It's crazy, just the amount of offers, but he chose BYU.
Double tight end set. Quarterback keeper again. And Retzlaff takes it inside the 5. It's going to bring up third down. BYU, Andre, in these red zone goal-to-go situations has been awfully good this year.
Yeah, 91%. They've gotten down here 23 times. 21 of them they've come away with points. And the majority of those times it's been touchdowns. 15 touchdowns they've put on the board. So they're not afraid to get aggressive down here, not afraid to roll the dice when they get down here and it's becomes 4-down territory.
Play clock into single digits, and BYU still in its huddle, and they're going to have to burn a timeout.
Yeah, you get this.
Charge timeout, BYU. First and a half.
This far into scoring territory, you're going to make sure you got the right play call. You're not rushing up to the line of scrimmage and trying to just get a play off and mess around and burn one, or you create a turnover against yourself.
This weekend, the SEC on ABC has a couple of titanic matchups. Number 11 Tennessee home for number 7 Alabama. The Tide the last couple of times out almost lost to South Carolina. Upset in Nashville against Vanderbilt, and then Georgia and Texas. Texas, the only unbeaten team in the SEC. Georgia's lone loss coming to Alabama, and
a little different Tennessee team than the previous 17 that they faced, though.
Yeah, that Tennessee win, a memorable one a couple of years ago. L.J. Martin back in at running back. Retzlaff, quarterback keeper, touchdown BYU.
Lyric Rawls just a little bit late getting to Retzlaff, and that's why you call the timeout, to make sure you got everybody on the same page. And they run the automatic. This is a designed quarterback run, and it opened up nicely for Jake Retzlaff.
It's his second rushing touchdown of the season, and an impressive opening drive. 6 plays, 75 yards. It started with that 50-yard bomb.
Impressive first play.
And the extra point is good by Will Ferrin.
Jake Retzlaff, they're not afraid to run him. This is a designed quarterback run that opened up for him, puts BYU up 7-0 here early.
Early last last season, Oklahoma State was searching for answers. They had a quarterback shuffle with 3 players for the first few weeks of the season. They figured it out on a Friday night at home against Kansas State. Finished strong, ended up playing for the Big 12 championship, beat BYU at the end of the season in a double overtime game. And Mike Gundy hoping that there is another in-season course correction. Last year, Andre, the decision was to go all in with Alan Bowman at quarterback and to design the offense around Ollie Gordon.
And they'd still like to do that with Gordon and up his carries. But they have to figure out a way to throw the football to get guys out of the box. And tonight, it's Garrett Rangel.
And Rangel is starting because Bowman really struggled in conference play. Last 3 games, Bowman 4 touchdowns, 6 picks, completing just a little over 50% of his passes. Enter Rangel, who came off the bench for Bowman in 2 of the last 3. Rangel actually started the season opener last year, started 3 games 2 years ago as a redshirt, and now makes his first start of 2024. He will move the pocket. That's an element that Bowman does not give them. However, the throw is incomplete, intended for Sesi Vailahi, one of the running backs. Player Spotlight is brought to you by Cintas. We expect to see a heavy dose of number 80, Brendan Presley.
Yeah, he's a playmaker. He's their best wide receiver, and a guy that can flat out get it done. And on the other side, length, speed, was a wide receiver at one point in his career, and that speed shows up on defense from Isaiah Glasgow.
Here is the quarterback run. This is the wrinkle in the offense with Garrett Rangel. And the coaches, when we spoke to them, they didn't reveal who would start. We had a feeling it'd be Rangel because they talked about valuing this.
You know, they did, and it's a quarterback draw. Let the block set itself and then get him kind of settled into this game. It's not a pass. We saw him throw an errant pass on first down. It's the way you settle him in is with his feet, with his legs, to let him take off running there for a first down. Hopefully he settles in for Oklahoma State.
Rangel, a former 4-star ESPN 300 recruit out of high school. Off the high snap. This is going to be a good play for him all night and for however long he starts. Handed off to Ollie Gordon, the nation's leading rusher from a season ago.
Yeah, you get all those bodies away from the line of scrimmage. It becomes a little bit easier for the big guys up front to block. Better blocking angles, better holes to run through for Ollie Gordon. But you can't do that unless you're completing passes, getting bodies removed from the line of scrimmage or from the box, which is in here.
That's why Gordon's numbers have not measured up to last year. Gordon gets the call again. And like a battering ram through that BYU phalanx, sets up 3rd down and 1 from midfield. And Mike Gundy was saying teams are selling out against Ollie Gordon, Doak Walker Award winner, first-team All-American, for good reason. And quarterback play was lacking. They couldn't make the throws to keep the defense honest.
You see the last 10 games of last season, that average over 150 yards, only 64 through the first 6 games of this year. And they had to do something to try to get one of the better players in the country going. And it's to switch the quarterback, maybe spin the ball a little bit with some accuracy and get him back in the groove of things.
Heavy stack on the right side, and Gordon has room to run. He hasn't seen this much daylight in weeks. Ollie Gordon, 50-yard house call.
Boy, excellent blocking up front for Ollie Gordon, and he does a magical job. Watch the shift here. Everybody moving. It's causing BYU to have to move. They get misaligned, and the snap is perfect. It's on time. There are more bodies to block your defenders with, and then the rest of it is just Ollie Gordon.
We just showed the stat. Gordon was averaging 64 yards rushing per game this season.
Got most of that on 1 carry.
59 on the opening drive, 50 on the touchdown.
You're not just a good player overnight and then it disappears. Ollie Gordon is still a good player, and he's got this game tied up at 7 apiece.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Late 80s in Stillwater was a time. Thurman and Barry in the backfield. Hartley, Dykes out wide. Mike Gundy throwing passes. Andre, where you played these teams in the old Southwest Conference.
My freshman year, they came to the Astrodome and lit us up in a major way. Hartley, along with Barry and Thurman. Mike was throwing touchdown passes all over the place. Had a very talented team.
86 to 88, 3 straight 10-win seasons. Keelan Marion has a kick return touchdown, but he'll let this one bounce. Let's check in with Zubin.
Anish, Oregon, emotional week, short week, traveling multiple time zones. Doesn't matter. They've overcome it all. Noah Whittington on the receiving end for Dylan Gabriel, who's had himself another fantastic game. It's all Ducks in West Lafayette.
Where's Dylan Gabriel right now in the Heisman talk?
Oh, I think there's a tier for him, you know, after Cam Ward and I'm drawing a blank on the man's name from Boise State.
Ashton Genty.
Exactly right.
I got to put Travis Hunter in there as well.
Travis Hunter on that first tier with him, and then I think there's guys like Dylan Gabriel.
LJ Martin getting the call. They want to get him the ball a lot. He got hurt week 2 at SMU, returned last week, and offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick told us he's 100% for the first time really since week 1.
And we saw that game against SMU when he went out with an ankle injury. He just was not the same. BYU, you know, found it hard to run the football that night.
Out of an empty set, quick throw, and that's caught by Chase Roberts. This is what he does. Most of his catches go for a first down or a touchdown. 22 of 27 receptions now, either a first down or a TD.
Yeah, he's the go-to receiver in this offense. Excellent hands. A guy that's extremely consistent. You throw it in his area, 9 times out of 10, he's going to make a play for you, as you mentioned, either for a first down, on third down, or a scoring play.
Big 6'4" target. Wheel route. And good defense by Parker Robertson. You'll see more of him with Trey Rucker out. And you can't understate what Oklahoma State's losing on defense.
Sure.
Oliver's their best edge rusher. Nick Martin had 140 tackles last year. And Trey Rucker came into the game 3rd nationally in tackles.
That's crazy, the amount of production that they had out of the 2 linebackers, Oliver and Martin, and then Rucker, 69 tackles coming in. He had a couple of interceptions as well. Very physical safety on the back end. It's just unfortunate, but they are here and they are very much in this game.
Keeping hole for LJ Martin. And he picks up 11 and a BYU first down. The sophomore from El Paso.
Built similarly to Ollie Gordon. Both are about 6'1", 6'2", about 225 pounds. Kind of long striders. But when they get going, they can go. And both, they can get hot late in games and really carry you to the finish line.
And BYU against a defense that has given up 6 yards per carry in 3 conference games. Martin zigzags and chainsaws for another first down to the 42 of Oklahoma State. And when you start calling Robertson and Rawls and guys in the secondary making tackles, not a good sign.
I wonder if our rules expert, Matt Austin, has gotten caught in some situations like this where the official gets in the way and can't find the exit door.
Martin again, can't turn the corner. Terrific play.
Excellent tackle
in space by Cale Smith. Andre, one note for BYU. Their offensive line missing 2 starters, and Bruce Mitchell at center is a converted D lineman last week against Arizona. First ever start at center. This is just his 3rd game playing offense, period. And a week ago, he graded out as the best offensive lineman.
Yeah, and Connor Pay, who might be their best offensive lineman, sitting out tonight, out with an injury. The guy that's a 4-year starter who is who just moves bodies when he's in the middle of that offensive line for BYU.
Austin Leusa getting the start at right guard. That's incomplete for Roberts. He was covered well. Kobe Hilton, the safety, back there.
Jake Retzlaff, he's looking one way, but he knew he had Roberts on a switch. The outside receiver, he's at the slot, and he's going to replace assignments, essentially, hence the word switch, with the outside receiver. And Retzlaff just took a little bit long to get that one in the air for him.
If you're Oklahoma State, you've got to be wary of the run play here. It's 4-down territory potentially, and BYU likes to go for it on 4th down depending on what they get. Little screen pass, that's the extension of the run game, and it's incomplete off the hands of JoJo Phillips. And now on 4th and 10, they likely punt.
Likely, but yeah, and finally here comes the punting unit. JoJo Phillips, they love to get him the ball in situations like that, or just get him going, approaching the line of scrimmage. Quick screens, tunnel screens. You usually drop them, but that one thrown a little bit too hard and in front.
You said likely because we know Kalani Sitake.
Oh yeah, he will roll the dice.
Roll the dice. He ran a fake punt against Oklahoma State last year from this part of the field. This time they will kick it away. Vanderhart punt. Fair catch is called for and made by Presley at the 12-yard line. 30-yard punt. Oklahoma State ball when we come back. Last year when Oklahoma State played BYU in Stillwater, Ollie Gordon, 5 rushing touchdowns, including the eventual game winner in double overtime. He could not be stopped. Part of a All-American season. He won the Doak Walker Award, and that win put Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship game. They had to come from 18 down at halftime. Rangel sets up the screen. It's knocked down.
I spoke to Brennan Presley this week, and he said Ollie Gordon is going to have a monster game. People seem to forget about how good he is, and he said what stands out the most is his vision and his cutback ability. Watch him play. 6'2", 225. He moves like a scat back, and when you're on the field next to him, Andre, man, he is big and long.
Yeah, he is long strider with quick feet. Up to a pretty good start tonight.
Josh Ford, the motion man. On the slant, that is hauled in. Io Shotamide King, junior college transfer, starting to get a little more run. 3rd down.
Just a sophomore. And when you're going to have plays like that, Anish, that's going to open up things because it will spread BYU out. And when you spread them out, now it's a little bit easier to run the football and call the number of Ollie Gordon.
They love running Ollie out of the pistol. That's the look.
3rd and short, I could only imagine that that's where they're going with the football.
They fake it to Gordon. Rangel running laterally and chased down from behind. Jack Kelly, part of that stalwart linebacking group for BYU.
And guys, he and Harrison Taggart, Isaiah Glasker, 3. You can't find 3 better ones around the country in terms of one defense. They've got playmakers at that level, and guys just know how to play. They feed off one another. It's a heck of a play by Jack Kelly.
Was that a broken play, or was that the design?
No, I think it was designed, but Rangel just couldn't outrun Jack Kelly.
Wes Paul sends Parker Kingston back inside the 35-yard line. Kick off your NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown crew on ESPN. Saquon, now an Eagle, goes back to the Meadowlands to take on the Giants. Plus, Aaron Rodgers has a new toy, Devontae Adams with gangrene. All of a sudden, Devontae Adams healthy as well.
Yeah, but Saquon going back to New York. Ooh, you know he wants the ball. You know he wants to perform. Man.
You know what's funny? All the guys who, when they play their old teams in the NFL, they say all the right things to the press. Privately, they say something else.
There's no doubt about it.
Retzlaff fires a strike to Lassiter. His second catch, both have been for big gains, 50 and now 17 more.
Well, I like the route that Lassiter ran to the top, working his way back to the quarterback, and that's what gets him open, working against Cam Smith. He doesn't come back to that football. Cam Smith's got an opportunity to knock it down, but he runs the perfect route, comes back to it, and keeps the ball in between himself and the defender.
3 drives for BYU. They've been in Oklahoma State territory each time. Retzlaff again wants another shot, and incomplete for Phillips, covered by Cam Smith. So going after Cam Smith on back-to-back plays.
JoJo Phillips has had 2 that have touched the turf that maybe you think he should have caught this one. I mean, not the quick pass earlier, but that one, you get 2 hands on it, wouldn't reel that one in. Good adjustment to it, not just finish it.
They've taken some shots, 3 shots downfield. Retzlaff 4 out of 9, but 80 yards and no turnovers.
This offense starting to resemble their defense, getting a little more aggressive.
LJ Martin breaks the tackle and fights forward to the 42. It sets up a 3rd and 3.
And what we're talking about is, usually you see BYU defensively, they're in zone coverage, 2 safeties, a single safety in the middle, but they're running zone behind it. Now they're bringing pressure, they're bringing zone blitzes, they'll line up and go cover 0. The offense starting to kind of resemble that as well, where they're taking shots and playing with some aggression.
And on the flip side, Oklahoma State telling us they're limited in what they can do defensively, missing their 3 best players. And off to Martin. That play call told you it was 4-down territory, 4th and 1. BYU 79% on 4th down this season, 11 of 14 among teams that have gone for it more than 10 times. Only Georgia's better.
I thought LJ Martin was going to walk to the 1st down. They do a nice job of rallying to the football and holding him just short. But when you're down here, nose of the football on the 40-yard line, about a half yard to pick up the 1st, there's no doubt Kalani Sitake, their head coach, going to go for it here.
2 tight ends to the left of the formation. Roberts is in the slot. LJ Martin straight up the middle, 1st down BYU.
Oh, did you see the gear? He just hit the gear, downshifted, and got into high gear quickly as he approached the line of scrimmage, and that's just a nice, tough, hard run by LJ Martin.
Come on, you know I have an automatic.
Sweet.
What's the last time you downshifted?
It's been a while. I learned how to drive a stick when I was in high school, and that might be the last time. Well, no, I take that back. I did own a Mustang at one point that when I was in Detroit that got snowed in and quickly sold it after. Haven't downshifted since.
A Mustang in Detroit in the snow. Ropati, stiff arm, flag down. You shouldn't see too many tonight. 2 of the fewest penalized, 2 of the least penalized teams in the country.
And certainly against BYU, and this is going to go against BYU.
Holding. Offense. Number 2. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Chase Roberts out on the edge gets called for the hold.
BYU in its previous 3 games, not a single offensive holding.
And you see Roberts out in space, trying to wrestle one of the defenders for Oklahoma State, Lyric Rawls, and gets flagged for it. So this is what Oklahoma State kind of needs. Keep playing behind the down and distance sticks, 1st and 20. Now you have it's the advantage of the defense in this situation.
Retzlaff on the crossing route that's dropped by Swanson, a freshman tight end. And you know, we've talked about the pieces missing for Oklahoma State. You wonder who has to step up. Coaches pointed to Kendall Daniels, who's 2nd on the team in TFLs. And this is a guy who was a former Big 12 Defensive Freshman of the Year.
Yeah, and he dropped down from Rover, where he's played in the past to now linebacker to give him some speed at that position. He's still big at 6'4", about 235, but boy, can he run.
3 drops now for BYU receivers. 4-man rush. Lasso down. It's going to bring up 3rd and long. Hilton, another tackle.
He's been he's been busy tonight. Retzlaff, what you like about him is his ability to change arm angles all the time. I mean, and that allows you to get the ball out quickly because it doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't have to have the perfect, throwing lane in which to step through or throw through. He just spins it out.
Over the middle, wide open Lassiter like that for a first down at the 25. How does he get that open?
The quick release as well, and Oklahoma State decides to go zone, and it leaves the middle of the field, and that look with 2 high safeties, the middle of the field is the weakness of the defense. And so sometimes you'll see tight ends carrying a linebacker working their way into it, or a wide receiver working to the middle of the field, like Lassiter did there.
Backbreaker. You got the offense at 1st and 20. It's now 3rd and long, and able to convert. BYU still has to call a play. And boy, that's a tough way to burn a timeout.
Second one.
4 seconds to go in the quarter. I'm not sure they realized that they had to call a play because of the difference between play clock and game clock, as we get a quick word from Verbo.
Defenses so far have been stingy, and that really showed in the... Look, if you want a house without a host, you should have booked a Verbo. Like I was saying, both teams have really good defenses, and it really showed in the second half.
Coach Saban made that sound believable.
When you recruit like him, you can sell. So Kalani Sitake's had to burn 2 timeouts in this first quarter. It's 1st down and 10, 4 seconds to go in the quarter. BYU knocking on the door of the red zone.
So you're saying he's not a coach that'll take timeouts home with him, right?
Clearly.
We've had a few of those this year.
Yeah, we have. We've had some interesting finishes on Friday night this season. Toss to Ropati. Halfback pass. Intercepted. Parker Robertson, the former walk-on. And BYU turns it over. And this crowd did not love that call from the BYU offense. They like the trick play.
Your color analyst doesn't like it much either, especially after a timeout.
Coach, you're down 3 starters due to injury. What do you like about your defense so far?
Well, they're rallying. We need to tackle a little better, and we got to run fit a little better. But they're hanging in there. We got some young guys learning on the run. But I like where they're at. I like their competitive nature. So we're in a good spot.
What's critical for Ollie Gordon tonight?
Well, Ollie's running good so far, and if we can get decent numbers, we got to go after him. We got to let him run the football, give us an opportunity to use some clock, and he can bust one every now and then. So we just got to stay the course.
Thank you, Coach.
Ollie Gordon did that in the first quarter, a 50-yard touchdown run, his longest rush of the season by far. And he picked up 3 on 1st down after the turnover. Cowboy football. BYU brings pressure. Rangel, too high, picked off. Tanner Wall threading the sideline. And did he get in? No, down at the 1-yard line.
Little bit too much too soon for Garrett Rangel. I'd give him some shorter stuff before you start turning it loose over the middle. Let him get his footing.
The runner was down at the 1-yard line. It'd be first down and goal. BYU at the 1.
Let's take a look to see if he indeed got in. I think he's down where the ball, his knee was touching.
Tyler Batty tried to escort him across the goal line.
Tried to throw him in.
And that's 2 weeks in a row where Walls had a pick, had a dynamic interception near the goal line against Arizona last week, and BYU now on the doorstep. And this is where they have been so good this year. When it comes to points off turnovers, BYU 52, their opponents 3.
Little quarterback sneak here, maybe?
Instead, it's L.J. Martin over that right side, and BYU gets the ball back, and they punch it in.
Well, the formation was such that it looked like they were trying to spread Oklahoma State out. Instead, they were going to bring Martin in motion, and they give it to him with 2 tight ends being to the strong side of the formation, which was the offense's right. And L.J. Martin with some nice footwork to get himself in the end zone.
Farron tucks the PAT home. Back-to-back interceptions for both teams.
Moved over from wide receivers, so you know Tanner Walls got hands as well. Getting an escort towards the end zone, gets him down to the 1, and then L.J. Martin puts it in.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ram Trucks at LaBelle Edwards Stadium in Provo, Utah. BYU, number 13, undefeated with a 14-7 lead on Oklahoma State. Cowboys off a bye, looking to get untracked. Both teams turning it over on successive drives. Andre, is there a moral to this story?
Yeah, just kind of stay within yourself. The Hinckley Rapati puts one up, it gets picked off, and then Oklahoma State coming back, give your youngster an easy throw. That's a tough one. This early in the game, it gets intercepted and leads right to points for BYU. So what I would say with Rangel is just give him some easier throws. Let him build some confidence before you're asking him to push the ball down the field to a guy like Brendan Presley or anyone else within their passing game.
We have not seen Presley catch a ball on offense yet. Rangel will keep it, and boy, he sold it. Batty went for Sesi Vailahi, who's a redshirt freshman from Salt Lake City, and Rangel was able to take it for 6.
He got his clock cleaned as well. Zali by, I think it was Tyler Batty. One of the better defensive or edge defensive players in the country.
You're playing the decoy and you get punished. Carries 16 yards for Rangel as Gordon goes wide. Screen pass to Ali.
And that's how you get a guy like Rangel the footing he needs in this game to build the confidence. Now you come back with either a slant hitch, something on the outside where it's going outside the numbers, and either his receiver's going to catch it or it's going out of bounds. Completes a couple of those, then you start to work curl routes, in breaking routes, to where he starts to feel a little more confidence as the game progresses.
Rangel again, the zone read keeper, and a chop down by Falatau Satuala. Now, this element is different for this Oklahoma State offense. Alan Bowman, 7th-year senior, tons of experience, but he was a traditional pocket passer.
It's forcing BYU to play 11 on 11 with Rangel in and his ability to run.
And he's got weapons and good ones on the outside. There's the slant. That's Rashad Owens for a first down.
So now you've got a screen, a slant, now maybe a curl route, something in breaking, but still you're throwing the ball outside the numbers, away from the numbers of BYU's defense. You actually got a shot up top, one-on-one if you want it. Safety help in the middle of the field.
It's a BYU defense that puts a lot of faith in its cornerbacks.
And it's how Jay Hill wants to play defensively.
Play clock down to 1. Vailahi to the logo at midfield and into BYU territory.
In comes Ollie Gordon, right on schedule in terms of 2nd down and 7. They want to see big plays.
Wide open, Talon Shetron. And that's a first down. Mike Gundy really loves this kid. They think once he figures it out, he's a future pro.
And he's got the size you want, 6'2", 195 pounds. And the timing of that throw by Rangel is there, shows the numbers to him. And right on time with a big completion. This is a nice answer to the interception and the touchdown, the easy touchdown that BYU had from the 1-yard line. It's a nice responsive drive here by Oklahoma State.
Presley joins Rangel and Gordon in the backfield. He gets it with space where he's dangerous. And Brennan Presley picks up another Oklahoma State first down. Maury Bamba, the 6'3" corner, makes the tackle.
Well, safeties are way back, and they're playing pass way back around the 20-yard line or so, so about 15 yards deep. It's tough to come up and make a play when you've got a guy coming at you full speed and you're having to come up under control.
It goes in the books as a run, but Presley last year, 101 catches, tops in the Big 12. Double tight end set. There's Ollie. Cowboys in the red zone.
You see what the passing game's starting to do for him, though. When you can complete passes outside, now you got that 2 safety look. That's one guy removed from the box and around the line of scrimmage as well. So that's one less body that the offensive line or the tight ends have to account for in the run blocking schemes that Oklahoma State implements. Well, nobody's covering the receiver down here.
Play action. Pressure from the middle. Rangel escaping.
Nice.
And finds an outlet. Tyler Foster, 3rd catch of the season near the sideline.
Shetron was wide open at the bottom of the screen, and I didn't think anybody was going to get out to cover him. And Rangel does a nice job. That's why he's in the lineup tonight. Forces you to play, just gives you more to think about defensively when you have a guy that can make plays with his legs. And keep an eye on this one. SMU, Preston Stone, they blitzed him, I mean, non-stop. Jennings came in the game that can move around, got out of that blitz.
BYU crowding the line of scrimmage. They bring the blitz. Rangel has an open man in the flat. Ollie Gordon.
Excellent recognition by Garrett Rangel. He knew he was getting the blitz. Where do you go? Where's your blitz beater? Everybody's inside. You get Jack Kelly with his feet flat on the ground, and Ollie Gordon has out-leveraged him already. And that's just a heck of a play going over the top.
He loves facing BYU.
Yes, he does.
5 touchdowns a year ago. 2 already tonight. 1 rushing and 1 receiving. And Gordon in the first half.
What did he have last year against BYU? 5?
5 touchdowns.
He's on his way.
extra point is good. Oklahoma State has tied the game at 14. Ollie Gordon finding the painted paradise for the second time tonight.
Nice job with the eyes by Rangel. And it's the All-American on the back end tying it up.
Friday night spotlight is on BYU linebacker Jack Kelly, who dominated another sport prior to playing football. At the age of 3, he began his BMX journey, which led him to becoming a superstar on dirt track. He was a 9-time national champion and 2-time world champion. Jack told me BMX took him to 41 different states growing up in a handful of countries. Riding at an elite level taught him discipline and to be goal-oriented, stating, in BMX, it's you versus you, and when you're training, you don't have anyone else to rely on or blame. He didn't start playing football until 9th grade. The team aspect and the brotherhood of football was too much to pursue, and he was hooked, and right now he's been a tackling machine for Kalani Sitake.
And he is starting to generate some considerable draft buzz as Keelan Marion with the return for BYU. Tied at 14 midway through this second quarter. Some words exchanged, and the Cougars offense back out there. Give Oklahoma State some credit here, Andre. Mike Gundy,
it's a heck of a drive to come back from after the interception. Play later, they're in the end zone, and then now you've got to come back on the road, stay within striking distance. They do it by going right down the field and hitting Ollie Gordon for a touchdown.
Ropati out across the 30. He's going to be close to the first down. Gain of about 9.
Nice job. Saw him last night. Big kid in terms of how well built he is. His lower half, his legs are big. You come up to tackle Ropati, and you better bring a lunch pail with you. Guy will run you over.
You're putting that second C on thick, huh?
Yes, no doubt.
5'9", 220 bulldozer. He and his wife Talon had a baby girl last month named Lena, and named so after Hinckley's late mother. They keep it on the ground, and L.J. Martin moves the chains. Yeah, Ropati, a young man who lost his mom in April of 2020, and to honor her legacy, he and his wife named their daughter Lena after Hinckley's mom, who was also Lena but spelled L-E-N-A.
Second of 7 children is Hinckley.
Young man who didn't play last year with a severe knee injury. L.J. Martin turns the corner. Tackle made by Robertson. And you go back to the tackling. That's what Mike Gundy talked to us about on our call this week. You know, their rushing defense, a lot of that came down to just fundamentals, angles, tackling.
And you got both guys in, Ropati and Martin. Ropati just threw one heck of a block around the edge for Martin. Had he turned the corner, nobody left because his running back counterpart had already taken care of business for him.
Lassiter, who's been a big play guy tonight, in the slot. Retzloff with room to run. Still going. All the way to the 35-yard line, a gain of 29 for BYU's top rusher.
I just love the courage of this young man. You know, you're not looking to get down or slide or whatever. You're looking to get towards the end zone and turning it on. Gets as much as he possibly can before going out of bounds. That just lets you know what type of competitor Jake Retzloff is.
There was a great moment at the start of this season when Pro Football Focus put out their rankings of all 16 Big 12 quarterbacks. They had Retzloff at number 16 as he hands it off to Ropati, and Andre Retzloff was shown holding up a screenshot of all those quarterback rankings, almost as if to say, oh yeah, okay, game on.
Yeah, and I've got one of the 2 undefeated teams in this conference right now after 6 weeks. So, hey, go back and redo this list.
And sometimes motivation comes from all places these days, right?
There's no doubt about it.
Second down. 7 to go. Ropati's back in there. This is Kingston, a high school quarterback. Now the end around. He's got enough to move the sticks.
You guys are talking about Jake Retzlaff, and this summer he told me he totally changed his body. He's a health nut and spent the summer cutting fat and adding muscle. And when you watch him, he's quite the runner too. He's an exercise science major, so he applies so much of that major into his body and his nutrition and his recovery, and knows how the body works. When we were talking prior to this game, he was telling me everything a little bit deeper than I understood. Above my pay grade, Andre.
I just like the way he's spinning it now, Clark. I mean, the ball's coming out of his hands with some velocity.
He's been playing with confidence. Chased here and intercepted. Pressure by Ezigbo, Oklahoma State, and Corey Black come up with the interception. Corey Black, the veteran, 33rd game started for the Cowboys on the back end, gets his 4th career interception.
When praising him, and he just held on to it a little too long. That one should have gone out of bounds. Come back on the next play.
It's going down in Saudi Arabia tomorrow. The Professional Fighters League Battle of the Giants prelims, 1:30 Eastern on ESPN Plus. The main card 4:30 on pay-per-view. To order, go to espnplus.com/PFL/PPV. Main card, Francis Ngannou, the Predator, Renan Problema Ferreira in the heavyweight title fight. Gents, these guys are units. Ngannou is 6'4", 273 pounds and chiseled. Problema is 6'8", with an insane reach.
And a Problema on the line of scrimmage.
Yep, it's going to be a little offsides on John Nelson.
Offside. Defense. Number 94 with contact. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
This is a 2-for-1 drive for Oklahoma State. They get the ball first to begin the second half, and tie game, you score here.
Just got to make sure you take care of it.
In the third quarter, different tenor.
Make sure you take care of the ball here. Free play pretty much.
And second down and about 3. Gordon and Rodney Fields, the running backs. Now Rangel wants an audible. Play clock at 2. This is Fields' first career rushing attempt for the true freshman from Wright City, Oklahoma.
No rush. You got a ton of time. With 3 timeouts left here before the half, you've got the 2-minute timeout. I mean, it's an eternity here before halftime for Oklahoma State. And an opportunity, as you say, the twofer to score here, get the ball first to start the second half, and then score again there. First things first, though.
On third down, Rangel, another quarterback keeper. Huge hole, it's now a foot race. And Rangel tracked down inside the 15, picking up 56. Tanner Wall saved a touchdown.
Boy, and you've got Tyler Batty, who's just crashing inside. He's going to crash down inside. And that just gives Rangel all he needs in terms of turf in which to break a big play. Well, I tell you what, nice job up front by Oklahoma State. The block that freed everything up was Josh Ford, the true freshman tight end.
Hey there, Zuber Mahenti in the college football studio. Coming up at the half, I'll be joined by Joey Galloway to break down what has been quite the night on both sides. No letdown for Oregon, and we'll look ahead to the showdowns between Alabama and Tennessee and Georgia and Texas. Anish, that's when we see you at the half.
Yeah, big news here. Garrett Rangel, after that last big run, was holding his shoulder. He has been taken to the locker room. Alan Bowman into the game. His first throw out of the back of the end zone, 2nd and 10. And here's what happened at the tail end of the play.
You know, right at the end of it, he goes down on that left shoulder, and that's the one he's holding on to, right in the clavicle area. And I know that because I've injured that one before, and it is very, very uncomfortable.
So Rangel was starting tonight in place of Bowman, the 7th-year senior who had been benched. Now Bowman is back in. He's had his struggles, and he's not nearly as mobile as Rangel, but the more experienced passer. And he'll hand it off. The hurdle by Ollie Gordon, and dragged down by Harrison Taggart. Kark?
Garrett Rangel in a lot of pain. I was walking towards the tunnel where Oklahoma State's locker room is, and trainers were having to hold that left arm to support the shoulder, it seemed, and he was walking really gingerly and not good for Oklahoma State. I'll talk to Mike Gundy at halftime and have a report when we come back.
Oh, because all the changes that you made by inserting Rangel into the offense, wanting the quarterback runs and things of that sort, that's now out the window. So you go back to being where you were before the bye week, and now BYU going to pack the box trying to stop Ollie Gordon.
Direct snap to Gordon. Powers ahead. And it's going to be a 1st and goal for Oklahoma State.
Just inside the 3-yard line or so, gives them the first down. So 1st and goal to go here for Oklahoma State. Really shouldn't be in any hurry. A minute on the clock. Still have all their timeouts. They can take their time here. Not too much, but you want to make sure that you punch this in the end zone.
And if you were BYU thinking about maybe conserving clock, using a timeout, you burned too early in that first quarter. So Oklahoma State can manipulate the clock here. The give is to Gordon. Sheds a tackle. Touchdown number 3.
Amazing. Amazing. And already working on a season high in terms of rushing yards for a game is Oklahoma State with 162. Tack on another couple. And that's, as you mentioned, the 3rd rushing touchdown of the evening for Ollie Gordon.
He had 5 touchdowns against BYU a year ago. And the 21 points in 1 half is considerable. This BYU defense in 5 of its previous 6 games had not allowed 20 points.
Yeah, they were only giving up 120 on the ground this season. You see the points per game this season by BYU and their defense. But I think even more importantly than that, it's the rushing yards per game. So they came in averaging or having just given up 120 a game on the average, already over 160 plus tonight here in the first half.
Our statistician Paul Newman tells us that number is 175, which is a season high for Oklahoma State. And we're in the first half. Now the challenge now for Mike Gundy is to figure out if Alan Bowman, who had struggled the previous 3 games, can be the guy if this is an injury that KOs Rangel for the game. Because the reality, Andre, a Rangel with the quarterback run was able to unlock this offense, and his spark that he gave this team tonight was real.
It really was, and then he started to complete passes, so the confidence is growing with a young man as well. Hopefully he's okay.
This season, All-State celebrates every field goal and extra point made with a donation to the participating university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State.
Not sure with just one timeout. You'll rarely hear me say this in the first half of a game, but just 32 seconds left. You don't need to make a mistake here with Oklahoma State having 3 timeouts. You turn it over, it leads to more points, and then they get the ball first out of the half. It could turn into a disaster for BYU.
Retzlaff has turned it over a couple of times tonight. They've taken some shots downfield as well. Content to keep it on the ground. Martin with a lot of room to run. And that'll momentarily stop the clock. We're under 2 minutes. First down stops the clock. A gain of 23, and this may change how you approach this drive.
Well, you may want to think about dirty one here just to stop the clock. It's running already.
BYU has 1 timeout left. Out of time ticking off. Retzlaff's pass knocked down by Iman Oates.
Oates from NEO. Northeastern Oklahoma A&M Community College.
That's the Norseman, right? The Norseman?
Yeah, they've put a lot of guys have gone through that program and on to Division I scholarship programs.
Now this is where burning those 2 early timeouts hurts you if you're BYU. 13 seconds to go in the half. Retzlaff backside pressure. Down he goes. The sack by Obi Ezigbo, who's starting in place of Colin Oliver, Oklahoma State's best edge rusher.
And his 3rd sack of the year. Does a nice job of just giving the outside move, BYU, coming back up, coming back underneath.
Full timeout.
On his way to Jake Retzlaff.
6 seconds, 0:06.
Final timeout used by BYU. 3 seconds added back. So 6 seconds remain. How cute do you get if you're BYU?
I might just kneel down and go to the locker room, because you throw one up thinking Hail Mary. Who knows? It gets picked, returned for 6. I just get to the locker room right now if I'm BYU.
Well, they told us, and we've seen it from BYU over the years under Kalani Sitake, they love the trick plays. They feel when you put that on tape, it takes away from the real prep by the other team's defense. You have to spend extra time accounting for the gadget plays, so maybe Aaron Roderick has something in his back pocket. Maybe it's a simple play underneath. Oklahoma State is going to drop back, playing for the Hail Mary. Retzlaff 6 of 14, pressure coming. He's hit, chucks it downfield, that's picked. So there's the turnover, it's Lyric Rawls, and he is tripped up by Retzlaff coming across midfield while the quarterback prevented further disaster. Another interception thrown by Jake Retzlaff, and that takes us to halftime. Oklahoma State leading undefeated, and number 13 BYU after the break. Zubin and Joey have your halftime report. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Ram Trucks. It's the Big 12 Conference on ESPN. Friday nights have been theater of the absurd most of the season, and we're catching a little bit of that tonight. Anish Roth, Andre Ware, injuries to at least one starting quarterback, maybe 2. Garrett Rangel late in that first half, making his first start of the season for Alan Bowman. Injures his left shoulder, taken to the locker room. He is not expected to return.
Yeah, and what it does is it hurts them in terms of quarterback runs. The end of the half, Retzlaff trying to make a tackle on an interception, injures his left arm. Who knows? Hopefully we'll get him back, but we don't know exactly how healthy Jake Retzlaff is.
Oklahoma State's backup quarterback is Alan Bowman, who had been the starter most of the season. A lot of experience, 7th-year senior, was the starter on a team that made the Big 12 championship game a year ago.
Yeah, he was, and You know, he's got a lot of experience, but they went away from him to open up the offense. Rangel had opened the offense up. Let's just see if they can stay with the amount of production they had in the first half.
Tonight's American Express game track is in front of you, and 175 rushing yards for Oklahoma State, already a season high.
Yeah, and way too many yards given up by BYU. It's a defense that averaged giving up 120 yards. So when you have an Oklahoma State team doing what they like to do, it's going to be a tough. It makes for a tough second half for BYU.
Let's check in with Paul Carcaterra. Carc.
Well, it's going to be all Alan Bowman, Anish, moving forward. Garrett Rangel has not even returned to the field. He's still in the locker room. You saw him suffering from that upper body injury towards the left shoulder. The good news, though, Mike Gundy told me, Ollie Gordon has been terrific in the first half. Just give him the ball more is what Gundy told me. And Oklahoma State as a team, 175 yards rushing in the first half. That's more than any game this season total.
Bowman is going to keep this, so what they put in the playbook for Rangel, Bowman able to use that zone read, which has been just gashing BYU all night.
Just to give BYU something to think about. You think there's a method to the madness of Mike Gundy? Hey, I'm going to run Bowman. Since you think he can't run, I'm going to run him on first down to start the second half, just to give you the thought that we may do that.
At right tackle for Oklahoma State, Jake Springfield, who missed the last 4 games with a lower leg injury. It's an experienced offensive line, and Gordon sets up a 3rd down and 1. So, again, Rangel unlocked the quarterback run game. Bowman more of a traditional pocket passer. Bowman benched in 2 of his previous 3 starts and then did not get the start tonight. Gets another chance here.
Yeah, you talk about Jake Springfield, 42 career starts to his credit. That's a guy with a lot of experience. He started 11 games last year at right tackle. He is one heck of a player for Oklahoma State.
Here comes Ollie Gordon. 3 touchdowns in that first half. 2 on the ground, 1 through the air. Able to move the chains. And tonight we're getting the version of Ollie Gordon we saw last year.
Well, nice block as well up front. We talked about Rangel right here. Going to block down, and that's going to open things up for Ollie Gordon. Nice job of opening it up. The freshman tight end, Josh Ford, as well. And they combine to pick up the first down. Heck of a job of stepping in for Springfield and doing a nice job here early in the second half.
Bowman will keep it again. How do you like this?
Love it.
Pocket passer, he doesn't run, had negative rushing yards entering tonight, and he's had a couple of nice runs on this drive.
And just giving you enough to think about. I mean, a couple of nice blocks on the outside as well. And Bowman having a little fun here to start the second half.
Now listen, Mike Gundy's been at the helm at Oklahoma State for 2 decades. You give him a bye week, he's been able to course correct many times in his career. This is Sesi Vailahi, Utah native, redshirt freshman from Salt Lake.
This is a nice job by the offensive line. And the quarterback, Alan Bowman, showing you some wheels to get the second half started here. So what it does is it spreads BYU out. And it's a little bit easier to block up front with the 5 big guys when they're spread out like that, having to defend the entire field.
We have not seen many teams push around BYU on defense. Vailahi runs into a roadblock and still able to get a couple of extra yards. Glasgow, the big 6'5" linebacker, with the stop. It's 3rd and short.
It'll be about a solid yard short of the first down mark.
Do you take a shot here with the design of going for it on 4th if you don't get it?
So I think he's going to go for it no matter what. So I like your idea of taking the shot. I get past the 50-yard line, anything. short or first down, we're going to spin it deep. But I would imagine it's going to be Gordon with the football in his hands here.
Every play on this drive has been a run. High snap, Ollie Gordon, stiff arm. They got his jersey, and that's how Crew Wakely was finally able to bring him down. A gain of 10 for Ollie, up to 99 yards rushing.
Well, Wakely's an experienced player from the back end, one of those safety spots. And he doesn't grab and hold on. Ollie Gordon may be dancing in the end zone with his 4th touchdown of the game.
They really tested the stretchiness of the fabric.
He is a big dude at 225. It's hard to bring him down.
He's only had one 100-yard rushing game this season. That was in the season opener. Hitting the backfield and powered by Mr. Glasker.
Watch Glasker, number 16, is playing so fast. This guy used to be a wide receiver in high school. And came to BYU's, Kalani Sitake was telling us that he came in talking about playing wide receiver like, no, we add some weight to you, you're going to be a fantastic linebacker. He finally got on board with it, and you can see the speed display itself on the defensive side of the ball.
Quick throw to the edge, and that's kind of been the issue with Bowman this season. Inconsistent, erratic when teams load up for the run. He has not made them pay through the air.
Yeah, if they're going to turn this thing around like they did last season, he's going to have to complete passes at a much higher percentage.
Jack Kelly firing up the crowd. Play clock winding down at 1. There's the blitz. Bowman in trouble near midfield. Gets rid of it, incomplete. And
what a loss this would be if it's
they may talk about grounding here as well, which is a spot foul.
They're discussing it, talking about it. Tried to say that, hey, Josh Ford was in the area, but I'm not sure. This was supposed to be a screen pass.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. The ball past the line of scrimmage.
And you see number 40 kind of trotting back into your screen. Got lucky there, Anish.
You got to be outside the tackle box, and the ball has to cross the line of scrimmage. If there's no receiver in the area, 48-yard kick. It's up and no good from Logan Ward. New quarterback for Oklahoma State. Defensive stop for BYU. You sense a pendulum swing in Provo.
Back in beautiful Provo, Utah, and I spoke to Kalani Sitake coming out into the third quarter. He told me he was not happy with his team on both sides of the ball. Offensively, he said, we've been so good all season long taking care of the ball, and we were reckless in that first half. Defensively, he said they haven't stopped the run because they're panicking defensively and not playing sound fundamental football. This is what they want to do, get the rock going.
They wanted to give it to L.J. Martin. Offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick told us, big point of emphasis tonight, get him going.
Matavu Tasei, the tight end, with a nice kick-out block. That's what got things opened up for L.J. Martin, who turned the corner, picks up a first down, and has BYU off to a pretty good start here to start the second half.
Martin, 12 carries, 89 yards, closing in on a career high. Retzlaff back out there. Puts it into the belly of Martin again and dropped from behind after a gain of a couple. Tackle made by Jeff Robertson. He's starting at middle linebacker for Nick Martin. If you're just joining us, Oklahoma State without its 3 best players on defense. Colin Oliver, their best edge rusher. Martin, who had 140 tackles last year. And then safety Trey Rucker, who came into the game 3rd nationally in tackles.
Some guys filling in admirably for them so far here to this point in the game.
Now they've had 3 interceptions.
Nice move.
How about Martin zigging, zagging, and he's got a first down to the 40 of Oklahoma State. 96 yards now on the ground, a new career high.
Well, he gave it and took it away from somebody in the middle of the screen, right about midfield. Not sure who it was. Larry Rawls, I think it may have been. Gave it to him, took it away, and then picked up some additional yards.
So BYU, after Retzlaff came up a little gimpy at the end of the half after throwing a pick, they've come out and to just run the ball. They keep it on the ground. Ropati over the right side. Braden Keim, the right tackle, creating some space.
And Kobe Hilton with the tackle there came up in an angry way, and that's how you have to tackle Ropati. We talked about it in the first half. He is big in the lower half of his body, and if you try to go up high, he'll truck you. You've got to make sure you are lower than his shoulder pads.
Both teams have run it well tonight. Retzlaff, little speed option. Ropati gets a great block, has room on the edge, and dropped near the 10-yard line by Parker Robertson.
Boy, and you talked about the speed option. There's a key that it gives you. The one guy sitting out here, you can read him. You basically won the play. So he's going to be released on the quarterback. Once he's released on the quarterback, now you just give the pitch to Ropati, and it is off to the races. No one else from inside out should catch up with him. Turns into a huge play for BYU.
Cougars tonight have run almost 60% of their plays in Cowboy territory. Quarterback run, Retzlaff. Got a couple. Second down, goal to go.
Well, they were set up for the option going the other way with one guy over the right tackle, Keim, and all he has to do is block down on him. There's basically Retzlaff may have walked into the end zone, and that's where I think, you know, when you give guys the freedom to check plays at the line of scrimmage, nobody feels the game like the quarterback. And when you give him, you load him up that way, you can't be wrong.
How much time does it take to earn that trust?
It takes a little bit. It takes a year, 2 years maybe of being in the starting lineup.
LJ Martin, pinball wizard, touchdown BYU. Every play on that drive was a run.
Let's get back to what you do well, and that's exactly what BYU did there. LJ Martin, Jake Retzlaff, along with Hinckley Ropati. Nice trio of runners for this BYU offense, and it's Martin who finishes things off in the end zone.
And they got about 5 more who we haven't seen tonight.
Yeah. You keep going at this rate, we might see them.
The extra point ties the game at 21. First career 100-yard game for LJ Martin.
And Martin making guys miss on his way to getting into the end zone and tying this thing up at 21 apiece. Welcome to Friday night. Buckle up.
You have not heard the last of this ending.
Make it make sense, my man.
I was one of these guys. I was doing this.
It has been a weekly occurrence here on Friday night. Anish Andre Ware, Paul Carcaterra. Whatever we generally expect coming into the game, the opposite happens.
Yeah. Kenny Dillingham, he had a good time last weekend, didn't he? On a Friday night.
Arizona State took
big win.
Goalposts. We had the controversial Miami-Virginia Tech ending. BYU was part of it. Week 2 went to SMU. Came away with a 3-point win. Little sky kick, fair catch called for. And Oklahoma State with the ball. They'll try to retake the lead. tied at 21. Ollie Gordon on that last drive came off the field limping at one point. He is good to go. 98 yards on the ground. And in the span of less than 2 games, really, 8 touchdowns against BYU.
And they're going to hold him out to start this series. Hopefully he'll get himself back in there. But, you know, Oklahoma State, they've been held scoreless in the third quarter of each of their previous 3 games, all 3 amounting to losses.
Alan Bowman slings it over the middle, too high, off the hands of Presley, and intercepted by Tommy Prasis.
The true freshman who this staff really likes. They think he's got a bright future. He was here, came to campus in January, went through spring ball, and gave himself a chance to see some time as a true freshman. He's got his first interception of his career.
And if you're wondering, are there any more options behind Alan Bowman? Garrett Rangel left the game with a shoulder injury. Zane Flores, a highly regarded redshirt freshman quarterback, out for the season. He didn't make the trip, had season-ending surgery. So the only quarterback option behind Bowman is a true freshman, Milwaukee Smith, who has not played in a collegiate game.
Forget played. How many reps did he get this week, if he's had any reps in practice?
Retzlaff, quarterback keeper. BYU has called only run plays in this third quarter. And Oklahoma State this season has had its issues in quarter number 3.
I gave you that stat about Oklahoma State not scoring in the third quarter in their last 3 games. Well, BYU, they've led after the third quarter in every game this season and has not trailed in the fourth quarter all year long. So you talk about a team prepared to play 4 quarters, that's BYU.
Another run, and that's Martin, only a yard. Retzlaff, Andre, has not completed a pass since the first quarter.
Wow. Yet they're tied up here in the third with they're coming up on around 4:45 to play. That's amazing.
6 for 15, 104 yards, 2 interceptions.
Let's turn it over to the big guys up front.
Could be 4-down territory here. Quarterback run. Retzlaff got away from the first man and gets a first down. Looked like Kendall Daniels may have had him. Retzlaff escapes.
That's a nice move. A nice ad-lib by Jake Retzlaff, because he had guys breathing down his neck. Kendall Daniels had him dead to rights, overran it, and then I thought a second defender was going to come up and make a play, and was able to escape that one.
The runner got the line of the game for a first down. The previous plays on the further review.
They will look at the spot. The replay booth will look to see if BYU made the line to gain.
The new 12-team college football playoff begins December 20th on ESPN.
Yeah, that's how I get by.
Ollie Gordon, helmet on the sidelines. Remember, he left the West Virginia game with a lower body injury in the third quarter, did not return.
They're going to need him if they're going to win this one.
First pass attempt of the third quarter for BYU, and it is a strike and a touchdown. Retzlaff to Keelan Marion after 10 straight running plays to open the quarter for BYU.
Well, their play selection since the first quarter had been 19 runs, only 3 passes, and then they come up with this one. Marion, who is a blazer, runs a heck of a route. Check to see if his foot was indeed in bounds to finish this run, but man, what a heck of a job by Retzlaff of timing that thing up and getting the ball in his receiver's hands.
Every play is looked at by the replay booth, and
it's like a little green between.
That looks close. Remember, ruling on the field was touchdown, so you need indisputable video evidence to overturn the call. We have our rules expert, Matt Austin, with us. Matt, did you see enough to overturn?
In my opinion, yes. But I'm not sure the replay official will agree. But I definitely thought he was out of bounds when I saw it. When I saw the first replay from the sideline.
Yeah, replay official says not indisputable, and so the touchdown stands. And Farron for the point after. It was close.
Very.
Kick is good. 14 unanswered here in the third by BYU, 28-21. Cougars have retaken the lead.
Take one more look. It's a nice route in terms of selling the defense on if he was going inside.
That was awfully close.
That was close.
I thought it would get maybe a longer look.
We've seen some that have been painfully obvious take longer than that.
Team playoff this season. This is the projected bracket based on the current AP poll. BYU would be the second team out. Now you got to remember, the AP poll rankings don't really mean a whole lot once the college football playoff rankings come out. That's what the committee uses, and whoever the Big 12 champion ends up being will in almost all likelihood be a top 4 seed, as Presley wiggles out across the 20.
But we won't have to wait much longer. November 5th is when they come out.
Paul with a report on Ollie Gordon.
Yeah, we saw him limping off the field and he hadn't returned, but he is with the offense in the huddle right now, and moments ago he was on the bike and I was right next to him. He looked me in the eye and he said, "I'm good." And that is not good news for BYU. He's got 8 touchdowns in the last 2 games against the Cougars. He's been a nightmare.
At 5 in the double overtime win last year. 3 tonight. And we get a flag before the snap.
Prior to the snap, charge timeout, Oklahoma State. For first and a half, it'll be a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, interesting timeout to start the drive. There was still time on the play clock.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football gives us a doubleheader this week. The Ravens, winners of 4 straight after that 0-2 start, had the win against Washington last week. They'll go to Tampa to take on the 4-2 Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield playing well, and then exclusively on ESPN Plus, the Chargers meet the Cardinals at 9 p.m.
Bucs put up some points last week.
Yeah, a couple of former Heisman winners, Lamar and Baker.
Back-to-back years.
Now Lamar might be in the running for MVP number 3. Ollie Gordon picks up about 3. Isaiah Glasker the stop. It puts Gordon north of 100 yards for the 2nd time this season, and he is down.
He limped off earlier, and Clark told us about it. He was kind of holding his left side as he was coming off the field.
You have to feel for what Mike Gundy has had to deal with, not just tonight. Down his best 3 players on defense. Ollie Gordon is down. Starting quarterback tonight, Garrett Rangel. He went down late in the first half.
He went off a little earlier and missed a couple of plays. As Clark told us, looked at him, and this is the injury from earlier in the game when he was coming off. You'll see here at the end of this one, he got up a little slow and limped off the field, and it's the same side that he's falling on, and it's his left side.
And the constant in both those plays,
yes,
Isaiah Glasker made the tackle. And that is not a good sign, boy.
And he's been so important to this offense tonight, where he came into the game averaging about 3.8 yards per carry. Tonight, just under 8.
A year ago, he led the nation in rushing and did so despite not even being the feature back for the first 3 games. He only had 19 carries in Oklahoma State's first 3 games last year. Ends up with 1,700 plus yards, 21 touchdowns, Doak Walker Award winner, first team All-American, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, name it. A chance here for the freshman Rodney Fields, and how about a dozen on just his 2nd collegiate attempt. Tonight is his first collegiate game. True freshman Rodney Fields.
Tell you what, he's a strong running back, not big at 5'9", 185, but he ran through some contact there on his way to a first down.
Keep doing that, they'll nickname him Danger.
Well, when you worry about with freshmen, you know they can run, you know they can catch it. Can they protect the quarterback?
Bowman's got a clean pocket, into traffic, and incomplete. Wanted Shetron. Harrison Taggart almost picked it off the tip.
You guys are always around the football, but just a little too much air under the ball by Bowman.
Bowman is 0 for 5. Rangel was 6 of 9. 51 yards, a touchdown, a pick. Also had 77 yards rushing before leaving with a shoulder injury. Fields, the running back, 7th-year senior, hands to the true freshman. And there goes Rodney Fields, providing a spark and a burst, and he might have to be the guy the rest of the way if Ollie Gordon can't come back.
You're absolutely right. And the offensive line with Springfield, Jake Springfield came back in the second half of this one. His first action in quite some time opened up a nice hole for the freshman, Fields.
You get the sense BYU at some point will crowd the box. They'll make Bowman beat him through the air. Fields finds no room, case in point. 2nd down and 10, and this may end up being Alan Bowman's redemption song as well, but he's got to show he can make the plays.
Well, this is an important drive for him as you get closer and closer to this fourth quarter. But you've almost got to keep pace with BYU. They being the home team, scoring, doing it the way they want to do it. You've got to make sure that you're following suit with points of your own.
Preston Wilson has to come off. His helmet came off. He's the right guard. Bowman off the RPO, finding Shetron. That's why they feel he is an NFL caliber wide receiver. Only a redshirt sophomore and a first down.
Yeah, he's eligible to test the draft waters, being a 3rd-year college player, but who knows what that decision will be when the season's over. But he's got great size, catches the ball away from his body. You know, Oklahoma State's always had really good wide receivers, all the way back to the days of Hartley Dykes, who we showed earlier.
Yeah, Mike Gundy's coached a couple of Biletnikoff winners. Bowman on the run. Fires a strike. That is Dajuan Lofton. So now the usual suspects have been quiet. Presley, Stribling, even Owens. We're seeing Lofton. We're seeing Shetron.
Well, how much did BYU talk about Presley? So you knew they would have not only coverage underneath, but somebody over the top of him as well. And they were going to shadow him with Jacob Robinson, who is their slot cover man. And that's exactly where Presley lines up. So they're going good on good there and hoping that everything else will take care of itself.
And a couple of completions unlock Bowman. Into the flat. Lofton cut down after a short gain. Mark Collins, part of that talented cornerback core. 7th-year senior. 6 of them at Weber State with current defensive coordinator Jay Hill. We go to the 4th. BYU has led after 3 in every game this season.
Coach, what do you want to see from your red zone defense right now?
Just tackle better. I mean, you have to give Oklahoma State a lot of credit. They're breaking tackles, and we need to make more. So fundamentals, keep playing like I talked to you about. Toughen up. Let's see if we can get a stop here and force them either kick a field goal or get 4 out. But you can only do it one play at a time.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
2nd and 10. Backwards pass. It comes back to Bowman. He's got a convoy. Bowman, the showman, is the end. Touchdown!
Excellent job of selling it by Presley, who we just talked about. And then he comes back to Bowman with it. Little trickery there, Anish. Excellent job of getting the pursuit going one way, and you've got about 4, 5 offensive linemen out in front of Bowman. And it's close.
Does that foot
one there
out of bounds?
Yeah, it's the left one for me. I think there's still enough green. Judging, and does he touch the pylon before the right foot comes down? The answer is yes. It is a play on and a touchdown.
So Alan Bowman, we saw some runs early, now a reception for a touchdown and a PAT to tie. Ward's kick, even at 28, or as we call it, just another Friday night.
Just another Friday night, baby. I mean, excellent job by Oklahoma State of reaching into their bag of tricks. And Bowman, who nobody thought could make this play or any play similar to it, gets himself into the end zone. You got a tied-up ball game.
You think about what that young man has gone through. He started his career at Texas Tech in the Big 12, was putting up Andre Ware numbers with the Red Raiders, then just a series of injuries, collapsed lung, broken collarbone, ankle injury, was benched in 2020, had 4 different offensive coordinators in his first 4 years of college, transfers to Michigan, doesn't play a whole lot in Ann Arbor, comes to Oklahoma State last year, took him a few games into the season to be the guy, ends up being the guy on a team that played for a Big 12 title, loses his job again this year. The injury to Rangel tonight allows him to step back in, and his team is all tied up with BYU, an undefeated squad, number 13 in the nation, on the road.
Just don't know how he got all 5 offensive linemen out in front of him. I mean, you talk about guys flowing. Somebody should have smelled a rat for BYU and made it back to kind of try to basically try to mess the play up. But no, it's all 5 linemen out in front leading their quarterback into the end zone. Let's take one more look. Watch the offensive line. They're all going to lay down. That's how you get lost. And then now you can't recover, and you got all 5 guys out in front. Well, Mike Gundy, he's just full of tricks, isn't he?
Yeah, here's LJ Martin. He's had a big game, picks up 8, up to 113. Gundy was joking with us. He said, when you play BYU, you got to be prepared for about 3 trick plays. That time Gundy decided to add 1.
He's got a few of his own. Has coached a lot of football. He's got an answer for just about everything.
Martin is corralled in the backfield for a loss. Colin Clay, the TFL, and a big 3rd down.
Big fella in the middle, dominant inside player, super quick, and he's hard to block because of all that quickness.
Both teams, for the most part, have kept it on the ground in the second half.
That's a big play for BYU, is you don't want to go 3 and out here and have to punt it back to Oklahoma State and give them some decent field position.
Martin rejoins Retzlaff, now motions out. Over the middle. That's always been the guy when you need a 1st down.
3rd down, go to him. Chase Roberts. Right over the middle. does a nice job of getting inside position and just kind of has a natural feel for where to be in zone coverage. You know, a guy's going to pick you up. It's man through the zone, and you're going to lock on. Well, okay, if you're going to lock on to me, I'm going to run it like a man route and get myself open, then square up to my quarterback.
23 of Roberts' 28 catches, either a first down or a touchdown. Play action. Retzlaff has a man wide open. It's Joe Phillips. Make it Keelan Marion. A gain of 22 more.
That's kind of a similar route to the touchdown catch that he had, where you're thinking, making him thinking about or having him think you're going to stay inside, and he goes ahead and goes outside. He's got tremendous speed, and well, I tell you what, if they can add him to the receiving core of Roberts along with Lassiter and give him one more option in the passing game, and with his speed, they could really be dangerous.
He's been a factor on kick returns this season. Cameron Epps is the man down for Oklahoma State in what is already a thinned out defense.
To the shootout in Texas.
Standing on business, ready for revenge. It's the sweetest victory and nothing will. I'll be right there to catch me if I fall.
Big weekend in Texas. Big college football weekend. Started last night in Blacksburg. Tonight here in Provo. LJ Martin having a career night. Picks up 7 on first down, up to 118 on just 19 carries.
He is having some kind of night. They talked about wanting to get him going again because he was back healthy, and he has responded in a big way.
Cougars' top rusher last year as a true freshman. Oklahoma State cheating up in the box. There's the little pitch. Martin is about 1.5 yards shy. Cody Walter shied. Made the stop. Third down.
I'm betting that they go right back to Martin, and if they need two consecutive plays to get it done on third and again on fourth, they go back to it, but he's going to step out for a minute, and Ropati is coming back in.
220-pound Hinckley Ropati. Both teams north of 200 yards rushing today. Oklahoma State's kryptonite this season has been stopping the run. Heavy set here for BYU with 2 tight ends. And Erickson another in motion. Ropati plunges forward for a first down.
Well, they are glad to have both guys back. You got all the experience they need up front on the offensive line, but to make this thing go, Martin and Ropati have to be healthy, and both are back in the swing of things, and you're starting to really see what BYU can be going down the back stretch of their schedule.
BYU, one of 11 undefeated teams. Ropati, extra effort, got him a couple. Second down. Lyric Rawls was there.
He grabbed him around the ankle and held on, didn't he?
Kendall Daniels, number 5 in white. He's the guy they look to now. Rawls started in place of Trey Rucker. It's a Cowboy defense that gave up 389 on the ground last time out to West Virginia. 300 against Kansas State.
Wow.
Utah ran for 249. BYU 228 tonight. Quick throw. Not there. Batted down.
That was almost a house call to Parker Robertson. Robertson broke on the football. It was intended for Hill, the tight end, and coming from inside out is Robertson, who gets a hand on it, but he gets both on there. It's a foot race.
Chase Roberts is the slot man. He is Mr. First Down. Retzlaff lobs it for the end zone. Too far. Wanted Lassiter. It's 4th down. And the kick team will come on. Will Ferrin will try to give BYU the lead as Lassiter is still down.
Officials timeout for an injury.
Lassiter, their top receiver today, 4 catches, 91 yards. Had a nice game against Arizona, went for 100+ against Baylor.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
We've got Fire Eaters, we've got Cosmo putting on a show, and we've got quite the game. Tied at 28 here at Lavelle Edwards Stadium in Provo, Utah, and Will Ferrin attempting a 41-yard kick to give BYU a 3-point lead. Ferrin in his career, 19 out of 22 inside 50. This one gives BYU a 31-28 lead with less than 9:40 to go in regulation. Sports Center after the game with Linda Cohn and Michael Eaves. A recap of WNBA Finals Game 4 came down to the last shot. Yankees and Guardians, more drama in Cleveland. Game 4 of that series, and a lot of news out of the NFL. Devontae Adams expected to play for the Jets. Who do the Steelers start at quarterback, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields? Let's check in with Paul.
Gentlemen, this sounds a little crazy, but I think Ollie Gordon is heading back into the game. We've seen him leave the field twice due to injury. The last time he went into the locker room moments ago, he ran back out. He had a huge smile on his face, and he was sitting with all the running backs and gave the head nod to running back coach John Wozniak that he was good to go. He's got his helmet. Can't hold this guy back. His energy, I thought today, coming out of the locker room at halftime, throughout the course of this game, with all of his teammates, the positivity and the will and drive to want to be great.
Oklahoma State brings it out across the 25 as we check out tonight's Capital One rewarding performance.
LJ Martin has had some kind of ball game. Just kind of finding soft spots in this Oklahoma State run defense. And he's been excellent in terms of ball security and finding those spots we just talked about.
Kark, your intuition correct. Ollie Gordon is back in there for Oklahoma State. Bowman will throw. Downfield, Presley reaches up, incomplete. Jacob Robinson has done a fantastic job on Brennan Presley tonight.
Yeah, he really has. He was tasked with mirroring Brennan Presley all over the field tonight. He's their best cover man, the most consistent cover man that BYU has. They're not afraid to lock him up on the best receiver from the opposing team. That tonight is Presley, and he has kept him quiet for most of the evening.
0 catches. Presley had 36 straight games with at least multiple receptions. Out of the backfield, Sesi Vailahi. Big 3rd down coming up.
Huge 3rd down here for Alan Bowman and the Oklahoma State offense.
Ollie Gordon to the bench. Cowboys 6 of 8 on 3rd down. three. BYU rushes three, drops 8. Rashad Owens, the first down grab at the 45.
Been quiet most of the game, but in a big moment on third down, they had to have it. Bowman hanging in the pocket and throws a laser to Owens.
Were you surprised BYU didn't bring pressure?
Maybe, because Bowman is much like Preston Stone in a sense that both are known as kind of pocket passers, and they heated Stone up all from the time he came out off the bus at the stadium. He was being blitzed. Shocked they haven't gone to that.
They pressure
with Bowman in the game.
More these days than they used to. Again, play clock down to 1. Quick throw to the perimeter. And Presley's first catch, Mark Collins right there with him, a gain of 4 to midfield.
He has been a great addition to this BYU team. He's a big-time player at Weber State before transferring to BYU. And is banged up coming into the year. He's closer to 100% now, and we're starting to see that in his game.
His coach at Weber State, Jay Hill, his current defensive coordinator. Bowman to the air, and he threw it behind Dejan Stribling. Third down from midfield.
He had a play fake to Rodney Fields that just seemed like it stayed in there too long, and Fields may have been trying to take it. Bowman pulls it out and tries to throw a slant route, but by the time he pulls it out, it's too late. Your receiver, the intended receiver, was already across his face pretty much.
Now Ollie Gordon. BYU rushes 3. Quick throw. Josh Ford, the tight end, looks to be a hair short. And you got to think they're going for it.
I thought he had the first down initially, but they got bounced backwards behind it. Man, that's close. Oh, that's just a good tackle. Excellent tackle on the back end by Wakely.
Ollie Gordon still on the sidelines. Tried to give it a go on this drive.
Don't like the formation already, Anish.
Hand off to Fields. I think the spot's going to give him the first down.
Barely got it.
How about the trust in the true freshman playing in his first collegiate game?
It's barely enough, and Glasgow in there again helping out.
Did he get it?
Well, I'll tell you what, Oklahoma State's trying to hurry up and run.
They're trying to call a play.
No doubt.
And they get it off.
No, they don't.
Now the officials say this will get a longer look.
The runner got the line to gain. The previous play's on the further review.
Matt Austin is our rules expert. Matt, generally, these spot plays are very hard to overturn. And does forward progress come into play here at all?
Well, absolutely. If the nose of the football got past the first down spot, the runner then might have got knocked back a little bit. I think this is a first down. I initially thought he got it, and the other reason is it was called first down on the field. I have not seen a view yet where you can see the ball and the line or a shot right down the line. So I would expect this call to stand, and I think it should, because I do think it's a first down.
The official from the far side very quickly had a step across the line to gain to signal it was enough for a first down.
Yeah, it was Harrison Taggart. They got there first, and then with Glasgow helping out, I mean, Taggart just, right in his...
Further review, the ring on the field of a first down stands.
Well, there's that. We play on.
You need indisputable video evidence to overturn the call, and we always say those...
It's just tough to...
Spot plays are hard to overturn.
No doubt. No doubt. Now everybody's thinking inside. They try to sneak a little play action inside and try to get one cheap down the sideline.
Well, here we are down to the wire on Friday night yet again. Fields is the freshman running back.
7-man box in here, or inside, with all those bodies in blue jerseys. 7 men in there to block up.
Fields met by Kelly, a yard, if that.
Kelly's having some kind of game, isn't he?
He, Glasgow, Taggart, they're all over. Guess who's back in? Ollie Gordon.
This may be where they try to get him on a little swing pass, little swing route out of the backfield. We got him if they go right with it.
Presley, the motion man. Robinson trails him. Bowman's throw caught by Presley, and he is met shy of the marker. Robinson and Glasgow combined for the tackle. Logan Ward, the kicker for Oklahoma State, missed tonight from 48. He has hit this season from 52.
Presley's going out, holding his right arm. Boy, what a physical football game we've had tonight.
Gordon remains in. Loft in the motion man. Bowman keeps it. What a gutsy call, and it looks to be enough. This is going to be close.
I don't know. The line judge comes in and trumps everything. It's going to be just shy of the first down marker.
The initial spot from the far side seemed to be first down.
Oh, I thought for sure they got to take a look at this.
Instead, they say fourth down.
Oh, that's a first down. That's a first down. They got to take a look at this spot.
And Mike Gundy pleading his case.
How can you not look at that one?
Clock continues to run.
A ball that's virtually invisible, when Fields runs in, they stop and check it. But this one, you don't.
Alan Bowman was pleading his case. Now we'll get a timeout.
Timeout, Oklahoma State. Second of the half. Be a 30-second timeout.
I think Mike Gundy's got to be peeved. He had to burn a timeout to get the play reviewed.
And again, without a shot right now.
We've got a rules expert, Matt Austin. The line to gain is the 34-yard line. After the timeout, they looked at it, and Matt, they did not overturn this call. Does that surprise you?
No, it really doesn't, because I think the ball got right to the 34. If you look at the chain on the far sideline, it's about a foot past that. So I didn't see a shot that showed it was definitely a first down, so I'm not surprised at all it stood.
So fourth down, they go for it, and that very clearly is a first down. It's Ollie Gordon. If you're Mike Gundy, though, you have to feel a little peeved that they didn't at least stop play to take a further look at it. Every play is reviewed, but he had to burn a timeout.
That's that part. Is, you know, we stopped it for where you clearly can't see the football, and we do enough of this to where we know that play's not going to be overturned. And I'm talking about the Fields run before. Then to not stop it there on the Bowman run, it's amazing.
Ollie Gordon giving it all he's got. Harrison Taggart with the tackle. Gain of a couple, brings up second down.
And every time he's contacted in a very physical way, Gordon has to step out and take a couple of plays off to allow Fields or one of these other running backs onto the field, onto the playing surface.
And he is toughing it out in every way.
He is. He's trying to give it up for his team.
Oklahoma State has one timeout and the 2-minute timeout. Not much for Fields. BYU crashed quickly. Third and long for Oklahoma State.
Logan Ward is a huge leg. Very, very big leg. And he hits them from 60 regularly in practice. 57, 58 yards and in is his range.
The 2-minute timeout.
Will step aside. 2 minutes left in regulation. Oklahoma State entered today on a 3-game losing streak. 0-3 in conference, off a bye. The Cowboys missing their 3 best players on defense. Ollie Gordon has been playing hurt here in this 4th quarter, and Garrett Rangel, who got the start today, left the game with a shoulder injury at the end of the first half. Flag down on 3rd down.
Yeah, you got a slow snap, which should have come up a lot faster. This is going to be a false start on Oklahoma State, so things just got worse.
False start. Offense. The left side of the formation. Please reset the game clock. 2 minutes. Thank you.
First penalty on Oklahoma State today.
Mahalski, the ball comes up slow. Guys are already, the quarterback's given the cadence. They hear it. Maybe Joe Mahalski didn't, and the ball came up slow, and the entire left side of the offensive line had already moved.
Are you putting trust in Bowman to get the first down, or do you play it safe?
I think you have to put trust in him, or at least get some of that yardage back to make it a closer field goal.
Play clock at 3. Bowman changing the play. Down to 1. That's going to be a delay of game.
I think Gundy was trying to get a timeout called, and he's not going to. I don't think they're going to give it to him.
Prior to the play clock running out, timeout, Oklahoma State.
They did give it to him.
It's the 3rd and final timeout of the half. It'll be a full timeout.
Hey, Matt, when the clock is that low, is there an official on the field looking at the head coach or someone along the offensive sideline in case they want to call a timeout?
I would always hope so, yes. And usually the back judge has an opportunity to look over there to the sideline. He's looking at the play clock. He knows it's running down. He should take a quick peek at the head coach, see if he is running down the field to call timeout.
Yeah, because nobody seemed to be looking at Mike Gundy, and then all of a sudden a timeout was awarded. So I guess what may have been the back judge taking a look.
Yeah, the flag came in. Bowman was scrambling. Oklahoma State is now out of timeouts.
Here's Mike Gundy at the bottom, waving his hands, asking for that timeout, and finally someone sees it.
It's going to be 3rd and 13. Oklahoma State needs the 22-yard line. After starting 0 for 5, Bowman is 7 for 9. Underneath, Presley with room to run. Brennan Presley breaks a tackle. First down, Oklahoma State.
You think Mike Gundy's coached in a few of these to where he knows exactly what works in what situation? They go screen pass to Presley. They get it blocked up perfectly. And then just the athletic ability on the back end of it. Not only do they get into field goal range, but they pick up the first down, give themselves a fresh set of downs. And they are marching now, Anise, to win the football game, not just tie it.
This has been an 8-minute drive by the Cowboys. Screen pass. Presley again on the bubble screen. And he is tackled inside the 10-yard line. Out of bounds. The clock stops with 1:23.
What did Mike Gundy tell us about Presley? He's so durable. And, I mean, he has taken some shots in this game, yet still on the field making plays.
Andre, at what point do you call timeouts if you're BYU? You've got all 3.
I think he's starting here pretty quick. I think I would take one after 2nd down here for sure.
16th play of this drive. Presley, the motion man. On the ground, Ollie Gordon gets a little closer.
There's the first of the 3 timeouts called by Kalani Sitake, the head coach of BYU.
Charge timeout. BYU. First of the half. Be a 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock. 1 minute, 18 seconds. 1-1-8.
How about the plays by Brennan Presley? Has come up huge for Mike Gundy, and Mike Gundy told us he's one of the most competitive kids he's ever coached. He can be reckless at times, but his recklessness is obviously pays dividends in spots like this because he puts his body on the line all the time. And when I spoke to Brennan Presley, he told me when he plays, he wants to match the physicality of a linebacker and show that defensive player he's all business, but also show a D-back and a skill position type guy that can't keep up with his feet. He's the ultimate package. Last year, over 100 catches. He was quiet in this game in the first half, but when the team needed him down the stretch, they went to 80.
I don't care if he caught anything else leading into that screen pass he just caught. That was huge. So just give me that and forget the rest of the night. When you needed it the most, Brennan Presley has stepped up and made plays for this offense.
Third down, 2 to go. A lot of shifting. Ollie Gordon's the running back. Presley again, the motion man. The fake. Presley in the flat, gets free! Oklahoma State takes the lead.
What a play by Presley. Broke the tackle of the true freshman, Brassis, out in the flat with Presley. And credit Bowman for getting him the ball in time to identify where the defender was so that he could throw a move.
And Bowman saw it. Presley in space, one-on-one. Now the PAT. That makes it a 4-point game. Oklahoma State in one-score game since 2015 has the most wins of any team in college football.
This is a team that, we were surprised at going 0-3 in the last 3 weeks because of what they brought back in experience. And so now all of a sudden, this may be the bye week happens again at the right time for Mike Gundy, and he goes on the road to BYU. They take a lead with 1:13 left. Now it's on the defense to bring it home for their head coach.
And how about the guts and the grit of Alan Bowman? 2 of the last 3 weeks, he was benched. Lost his starting job after the bye week.
I'll give you one better. Their top 3 defensive players out of this one tonight. Ollie Gordon playing hurt, but they gut it up and they lead with 1:13 left on the clock.
And Brennan Presley on that last drive, 4 catches. It was a 17-play, 76-yard drive that took up 8.5 minutes off the game clock. Now BYU's turn from their own 25. 2 timeouts, 1:13 to go. Jake Retzloff with his close-up. First time all season that BYU has trailed in the 4th quarter. Packed house in Provo.
Quiet packed house right now.
Quiet. Retzloff down the middle, dangerous throw, and it's caught by Lassiter. No, and he dropped it at the end. Couldn't hang on.
It was an incomplete pass. 2nd down.
Cam Smith got in there to dislodge it.
Yeah, just at the last possible second, when Lassiter's kind of trying to reel this baby in, Smith is fighting him tooth and nail, and about the time he hits the ground, the ball comes out.
And he never quite had control.
And it's
That's
moving around. Exactly right.
Back to the air. Lassiter in the flat. Wisely gets out of bounds. It stops the clock, but not a whole lot of yards. It's 3rd down.
And remember, BYU has to get in the end zone. I mean, there is no tie it up, let's go to overtime. They've got to score a touchdown. It's win or bust for the Cougars.
Does that change how you play defense?
Oh, absolutely, because you're going to make them drive it and not want to give up a big play where they get chunk yards to make it a little easier on themselves.
Cowboys rush 4. Retzloff dancing. Throws on the run. Incomplete. It looked like Marion may have been open for a moment. And now it is 4th down, 7 to go. It's been a topsy-turvy season in the Big 12.
First things first, pick up the first down here if you're Retzloff. Don't worry about the rest of it, but you got to have the first down right here on 4th down.
This is the ball game for BYU. Retzloff dancing. Slingshot. Roberts. And he will have the first. That's the guy who gets you your first downs.
If there's ever a doubt who's going to get the ball on 3rd down, 4th down, or a touchdown, it's Chase Roberts.
And momentarily stopped the clock. Back to the air. A check down. Keanu Hill can't get out of bounds. Clock will continue to run, and BYU will have to burn a timeout. One left.
Smart timeout and a heck of a job by Oklahoma State of keeping Keanu Hill in bounds.
Reset the game clock to 32 seconds. 0, 3, 2. Thank you.
Let's go back to that big 4th down play where he's able to find Chase Roberts in the middle of the field. And the kid just makes play after play after play. Deep curl route, begging for it, and he finally finds him and moves the chains.
Knew exactly where the line to game was. 62 yards to the end zone for BYU. Oklahoma State, 32 seconds from its first Big 12 win of the season. Retzloff rolling, cuts it upfield, has the 40, slides down. That'll momentarily stop the clock. 21 seconds left, 1 timeout remaining, and he's going to try to spike it. He does. Clock stops with 19 seconds, and BYU's got a chance. They got 1 timeout, 35 yards to go.
And what that 1 timeout allows you to do is basically run a play anywhere, and you can throw it anywhere on the field. Middle of the field, it's a quick timeout. Retzloff with a nice heads-up play there. I thought he was going to go out of bounds to save the clock or some time, but he was able to get the first down, which stopped the clock. They spike it. Here we go. We play on.
Happy feet. Downfield. Caught. Broken tackle. Lassiter. Touchdown. Are you kidding me?
40 years ago, this program won its first and only national championship. That's 40 years ago this season. I'm just saying, things are lining up for BYU.
They began the game at their own 25 with a minute 13 to go and 2 timeouts.
What a game.
And Retzloff to Lassiter for a touchdown from 35 yards out. The extra point to make it a 3-point game. 38-35. Oh, we got some more Friday night mayhem this time in Provo.
Excellent job by Retzloff. Lassiter gets open for him, and then it's all Lassiter at the back end of this. Holding coverage with his eyes. Lassiter on the back end with a nice move and into the end zone.
Made 3 guys miss. Wow. Cam Smith couldn't get him down. Neither could Lyric Rawls, and right over Parker Robertson for the go-ahead score.
The one and only thing you could not have was missed tackles and giving up a big play like that to Lassiter. Smith, as you mentioned, missed one. Rawls missed another. And then it's a nice waltz into the end zone for Lassiter.
0-1-1. 11 seconds, please.
Now in Brennan Presley.
Thank you.
Oklahoma State has a dynamic kick return man.
I don't know that I'd kick
Robertson.
I don't know that I'd kick it to him. I would squib it.
Yeah, he's not back there. It's Robertson who's the deep man. Robertson from the 8. Knocked down at the 22. 6 seconds.
This place
still
is
remain
alive again and well. They had been quieted by this Oklahoma State Brennan Presley touchdown catch, but they are up, jumping, and making a ton of noise.
Please reset the game clock to 7 seconds. 0-0-7. 7 seconds. Please reset. Thank you.
BYU drops into a 3-deep look. Cougars have 1 timeout.
Charge timeout. BYU.
And they use it.
This will be a full timeout.
All right. This is where you bring out the annexation of Puerto Rico. What's the call for Mike Gundy?
Oh, man, it's got to be something where it's close to the sideline, where maybe a curl and a looking lateral. It's something along those lines.
And I tell you, with what we've seen on Fridays this season,
nothing surprises me. Nothing.
You can't call this one yet. Oklahoma State led at halftime.
I mean, if you're an Oklahoma State fan, you got to take your hat off to your team because they came in, we mentioned it, 3 of their top defensive players out of this one tonight. You lose your quarterback. Ollie Gordon in and out of the lineup, hurt tonight. Yet they played their hearts out.
Last chance. Bowman. And there's a second on the scoreboard, not over yet. That seemed like a long 6 seconds, but 1 second remains. 78 yards to go. Here's the check down to Gordon. Pitches it back to Bowman. He flutters it back to Owens, who's cut down by Robinson. That's the ball game. BYU remains undefeated. A thrilling 38-35 win at home against Oklahoma State. Cowboys battled all night.
Yes, they did.
And it looked like They were on the brink of an upset, and then BYU magic in the final minute. Paul Carcaterra with Kalani Sitake.
Coach, under a minute left. Why do you want the ball in the hands of Jake Ratzlaff?
Hey, he does it in practice all the time. We're so happy that he was able to do it here. Proud of him and Darius and the rest of the bunch. I mean, we made too many mistakes, but I love the fight in our guys. They didn't stop believing, so that was a great team win there.
This was a test. Where did they test you most?
Hey, that's physical. That's a really good team there. And they started to find their mojo with Ollie and the rest of the group and quarterback run. I mean, they made a lot of big plays. Presley's a dang good player, so, we knew we were going to get that best shot. We need to do better, but I just like the way our guys fought back. We can't complain about the result, about the game. It was a good test for us. It's good for our program.
You're 7-0. There seems to be something brewing in Provo, and you're having a lot of fun with this team. What is it about this group?
Hey, it's all about having a good time. I mean, it didn't feel like having a good time when we're turning the ball over and they were, marching on us and on defense, but you just got to keep fighting. It's a long game. I mean, the guys all kept believing, and I'm just really proud of the team, the culture, the leadership on our team. It's awesome.
I saw you dance in pregame. You going to dance in the locker room with the guys?
Oh, yeah, I got to dance. I mean, I don't dance well, but I'm going to get all the effort I got, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
I like your moves. You move well.
Thank you. Not bad for an old man, so.
Thank you, Coach. Be well.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Kalani Sitake has this team at 7-0. 40 years ago, BYU was a national champion. It took a long time for this program to move back up into the big league. Second year in the Big 12. Bona fide playoff contender.
113 when they got the ball back with one timeout. Marched it right down the field and cashed it in for a touchdown. BYU's for real, my man.
And this was just another Friday night.
Just another Friday night.